Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to This Can Make Us Famous podcast. I'm your host, Jason McCormick, and with me today, again, like always, my stepfather-in-law, Mr. Charlie Bartha.
Hey everybody,
He's
how's
in
it
the
going?
house. We're about to have a great time. We're going to get this kicked off. Stay tuned. Enjoy. It's going to be a great one. I like that epic intro, Charlie.
Yeah, that was great.
We'll have to work on that a little bit more. We actually have a special guest. We're going to start off this podcast with a special guest other than Charlie, his nephew, Kenneth.
Yeah.
Kenneth Bartha. And so we're going to go ahead and cue him in. And yes, this is Kenneth Bartha.
Kenneth,
He
Kenny,
is. Welcome to the show,
How's it
Kenneth.
going?
you're on the air.
How's it going?
Oh, man, it's great. Beautiful day here. How's Michigan?
It's actually really cold down here. It's supposed to get some frost tonight, so.
Wow. Well, you're technically up there compared to us, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, we're Michigan is a beautiful place. My wife's from there, obviously, and I've been there a handful of times. I was just recently up there at the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, the UP.
Yeah, you weren't just recently. That was quite a while ago when they
Well,
had
it was
like
March 1st.
eight inches of snow on the ground up there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the snow was like up to their roof. It was insane. It was totally crazy. So you live in the great state of Michigan. I know it's been very crazy over there with the governor, or so I hear. There's a lot of
Yeah.
news around her. So what's your take on all that?
I mean, at first I was kind of excited that we didn't have any school. And then it got to the point where I'm just getting super bored doing the same stuff over and over. Like, I just want to go back out and just have a normal life again.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you, man. I remember, when I was in school, my favorite day was snow day, like when you didn't have to go. And I can't say I would know what it's like to be under a quarantine, global epidemic of this sort
Yeah, no kidding.
and be in school. I feel for you guys, especially the seniors. What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th, so.
Oh man, so hopefully you'll be able to enjoy your senior year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you didn't get to go to prom though. Don't you have prom junior year as well?
Yep.
Man,
Yeah.
that bites.
Yeah, prom, but the thing he missed out on was the basketball team was
Yeah.
like
Our
ranked.
basketball season got cut short because of it.
You were ranked. What were you ranked in the state?
We were ranked at one point like 6 or 7
Mm.
in the state.
And I think I remember reading like 330th in your division size wise in the nation.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's pretty awesome, man. So you're really into basketball. Have you been playing
Yeah.
most of your life?
Yeah, pretty much. Ever since I was in elementary, I've been playing and just kept it going.
Well, let me ask you the question of all questions. How about Michael Jordan or Mr. LeBron James? Who is the greatest? Or Kobe? Let's throw Kobe in there out of the three.
Pick a piston.
I mean, if you were to ask me a couple years ago, I would say LeBron because I really liked him, but then I just kind of got rid of him. So if I were to say, I would probably say Michael Jordan. Even though I wasn't around to watch him, I saw lots of highlights of him, and I watched the documentary too.
Yeah.
No Isaiah Thomas. You're not going to throw Isaiah Thomas in from the Pistons?
He's the best point guard, I think.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, people hate on LeBron so much, but I don't know. I like his story for sure. I mean, so does Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, I mean, I know there's a lot of rumors, but I hear that Michael Jordan is actually not a really nice person. Like, he's pretty mean to people. So, I mean, that's what I hear.
Yeah, I heard a couple stuff like that too. Yeah.
I don't know if he is. I mean, because I've never met him personally, but I mean, I would have to say if there's several stories of people and their experiences with him being a jerk, he probably is. I don't know. So, which is a bummer because Michael Jordan's like a hero to like the whole world. Like every kid, younger kid,
Yeah.
you know, they
Even the
grew
older,
up with him.
even the older kids,
Yeah, the older kids, they grew up with him, man. It's just Michael Jordan, man.
I was
One
never
of the
really a
greatest.
fan of his, other than his Bugs Bunny. When he
Yeah.
was in Bugs Bunny movie, I liked him in there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
Space Jam.
yeah, Space Jam.
Space Jam, yep.
That was the
Epic.
highlight of his life.
Epic movie.
Yeah.
The highlight of his career. No, Michael Jordan, I mean, yeah, he's an outstanding player, but obviously you need your team to win victories. And I mean, he had Dennis Rodman, which I think was a key component to the, team. Like them together was, yeah, they were solid. So,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was into that much sports.
oh, look, I followed a little bit enough to be able to talk about it on a podcast. Now, I feel like if an expert like sports person came on, man, they'd pull me apart like my little thread. They'll just pull me like, oh no, you don't know crap. No, but no, I enjoy mostly. I like hockey. I like some football. Huge Chiefs fan, and yeah, so yeah, I'm not big time into sports, but
So what other sport did you miss out on this year?
Trap shooting.
Yeah,
what the heck? What was
Um,
that? Trash?
I missed on that.
yeah. This has been the second year for trap shooting they had. Last year
Oh,
was the
wow.
first year,
Hmm.
and that season completely gone. Kind of like baseball.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that's a bummer, man. That your junior year. I mean, so you've been out since when did they close school? Was it March 1st?
Yeah, it was early March.
Huh.
Rumors started to happen before that, but
Do you think that we're gonna go back into normal life here soon? Like, you think next year you guys will be able to go back to school?
um, it's hard to tell with all
Right.
this stuff going on. Like, I really hope we do though,
Mm-hmm.
because it's just getting so old and
We could tell you something right now that would make you extremely jealous
what.
about what happened last night.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Rub it in, Charlie. Rub
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah. We actually went to a restaurant and sat down and had dinner last night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, at Denny's, of all
Yeah.
places.
Well, we could have went other places, but that was
Right.
the one that was open after I got out of work. So
Which was pretty terrible service. I think people are not used to working, as servers, and man, the experience was kind of bad. Like the server was rude. Got a plate of nachos, and I was going to town on those nachos, and then my wife was sharing, and she's like, "Look at this," and she pulled out a giant hair. And it was under the nachos, so it was like not from us. It was from the
Oh,
the manager who was making the nachos. It was like her color hair. It was crazy, and they didn't give us a discount, man.
you didn't
Ticked
complain.
me off.
I
should have.
I got to teach you better.
Charlie's like an expert. You would probably know this. I don't know. He can get discounts like you wouldn't believe.
oh yeah.
Man, we go to. It's
Oh,
like every
easy.
restaurant we go to, he doesn't have to pay because it's like he just gets discounts. It's just amazing.
Well,
He needs to have a school where he teaches
you
people.
You're around with Grandpa. Grandpa taught me well.
That's funny, man. No, so before we let you off, we wanted to play this game. It's just a little experiment, but since you're not here with us, there's not very many games we could do, but it's kind of a really quick game. Basically, it's guess that sound. So I'm going to play a little clip of something, and then you have to guess what that sound is.
Okay.
And then if you win, if you get them all, then you just win. That's all. You just win, and you could be a happy person. So
Do I get anything from Charlie's bag?
oh yeah, you can get. Maybe we should mail him something.
Yeah.
We should
Hey,
get a T-shirt made of
we will
Charlie.
mail you the jackfruit in a can.
Oh, God. And that was not me, by the way. Some people thought I was over exaggerating. It was not me over exaggerating. That stuff was nasty. Maybe some people love it and it's delicious, but man, it made me gag.
Yeah.
And those olives were just nasty with hot. So
Oh, the olives were good.
you liked them?
Yeah.
Wow, you can have them. I got a whole jar downstairs that you left. So, anyways, let's go ahead and play this game here. And I'm going to play the first sound. Hopefully, you'll be able to hear it. And you have to guess what that is. And if you guess this, that's pretty amazing. But here it is.
That was pretty weak. Play it again.
No, it's still.
All right. So what was that?
It was kind of choppy.
It was choppy.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounded pretty clear here.
Yeah.
Let me play it one more time.
Okay.
What do you think that was?
I have no idea.
Something with a motor.
Well, you know what? I don't actually know what it is either. So no, I'm just kidding. It's a meat grinder.
I wouldn't.
You know what? Like, okay, so that was an effect I found on the free effects on YouTube, and I was like, man, I don't remember a meat grinder sound. I guess I used the manual ones. I didn't use the powered ones.
Try the pink one, the bottom.
The pink
Or I
one.
guess that's purple.
That's purple. Well, this one right here. Let's see what this one. You should be able to get this one. You know what that is?
Play it one more time. I don't know.
You know what that is?
It's something to do with a key.
Yeah. Opening a door. Like you're unlocking it and locking a door, like the key and stuff, and you're opening the door.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And we got two more here for you. You know what? Let's see here. Let's see if you can guess this one. Oh, wrong one. Oh, wait. I changed that one. That's why. All right, here we go. This is the last one.
That one is kind of different. I have no clue on that one. Kenneth, good luck. Good.
I know what it is.
Well, you have the answer right in front of you.
You have to try it on me one time. Okay, so maybe I should do easier ones next time. That one's a little hard. Okay, especially over the phone, it probably is really hard. That was a rubber glove. That was like, you know, when a doctor puts on a rubber glove.
Play that again.
Yeah, it's a rubber glove. Listen. Putting it on. Rubber glove. See? Yeah, that was.
Okay, whatever you say. What's the other one?
That's it.
You don't know?
I replaced that other effect with a different one. So,
Oh.
but yeah, that next time we should do like name that tune. That'd be better.
Yeah. Your dad's making fun.
Yeah.
Your dad's making fun of you, by the way, Kenneth. I got a text that says, Kenneth is it's group text. Kenneth is like a kid in a candy store. He's talking to Charlie and Jason on their podcast.
This is awesome. Next time we need to have like a cardboard cutout of you or something and just have you right here with a microphone.
Yeah.
That'd be epic. And get like a little string we can pull for your arm. That'd be awesome. That's cool, man. Well, we won't keep you any longer. This was a little test run. We'll have you on again. But thank you for being on the show. I will hopefully have it edited tonight. If not tonight, tomorrow. And we'll make sure you see it.
Yeah, your dad's probably
All
just
right,
jealous.
sweet.
And we'll probably get your dad on here sometime.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear the stories about Charlie when he was younger.
Oh boy. Your dad will not be coming on.
Are you the youngest, Charlie?
I am.
Charlie's the baby. Wow. There's some great stories.
Kenneth's the baby too, his family.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll tell you what. There are going to be some great stories, so tune in, everybody. All right, Kenneth, thanks for just chatting with us, and we had a great time. Shared some great stories. Lives were changed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Talk
Yep,
to you
thank
later.
you guys.
Bye.
All right,
Yeah.
man. See you, man. Bye. Well, that was a treat. That was awesome, man. Kenneth Bartha, that's Charlie's nephew. He's a junior, and he is up there in Michigan, and I guess it's pretty rough. He's had to spend his junior year trapped in quarantine, lockdown, which Michigan is,
Ridiculous.
yeah, Michigan is like worse than everybody else.
That's what happens when you're trying to be a vice president running mate.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Every state's handling everything differently, which brings us to the next thing I wanted to talk about was the all the states opening back up. I mean, every state is doing it their own unique way, but I know here in Missouri, our whole state opened up on May 4th, and they're slowly.
Except for the city of Kansas City or Jackson County.
So the Kansas City and Jackson County. Well, we're in Jackson County.
No. Well, yeah.
So all the businesses here can't open up. When does that open up?
May 15th.
Oh, that's right. So, wow. So May 15th. That's why I couldn't go to some of the places that I liked, like Caleb's Kitchen and all that stuff. Bummer, man. Well, gotta wait till May 15th for that. But we did go. It was pretty awesome. Last night, this was a treat. This is gonna blow everyone's mind. We went to Denny's. And that was awesome because Denny's is one of my favorite places. You can get a lot of food for very little money. If you're watching this, anyone from Denny's, you can definitely sponsor us. You would be very proud to do that. I would be proud, so. But yeah, we went to Denny's. That was an experience. I mean, it was weird. It
was really
I'm sure
weird.
you guys that are watching this know that experience.
They had of course, every other table, they had blocked off. So, every other table had their booth. And when we left, they had to completely sanitize. They had paper menus so they could throw them away when they were done. Your silverware came in wrapped in plastic with a napkin in it, I think. And no straws. I don't know what the deal is with that.
Oh, because they probably just don't want to take a chance.
Probably them touching the straws.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah, all the silverware was wrapped in, all of it, including the napkin, was wrapped in plastic. So, but, I mean, it was different. All the servers wore masks. The menus were all paper. So I pretty much understood right away what that was all about. They didn't want people handling the same menus over and over and over.
Yeah.
So they just take them and throw them away. Now, I mean, I applaud the efforts, for different people in different states trying to do this thing right, to prevent the spread of COVID-19. But, I mean, really, no matter what we do, all you have to do is touch a surface, touch a pen, touch anything, like the table, the booth, the seat you're sitting on, and
Touch you?
yeah, the bathroom. I mean, there's so many places that a virus can stay on, and then someone else comes up there and they touch the table, and I mean, they are supposed to wipe the tables down, but
Yeah, they're supposed to completely sanitize the table.
and they're also supposed to not put hair in your food.
Well, that's how are you going to get them to sponsor when you just talk bad about them?
I will say this. Okay. Yeah, I know that was pretty messed up. I still love Denny's. It's just this specific location. They dropped the ball with someone back in the kitchen.
It's not our regular Denny's. It's just
right. It's not our Denny's of choice. We have a Denny's of choice. And so, yeah, I was going to town on these nachos and pulled out a long hair, and it was disgusting. It's gross.
Oh, maybe they were just giving you some dental floss. You thought it was hair.
Yeah, I mean, it adds a little bit more flavor, I think. I mean, nothing like a nasty, greasy hair to add more grease to the already greasy nachos. I normally get heartburn when I eat those things, but they're pretty addicting.
Yeah, they're really good. Denny's has probably one of the best nachos for not being a nacho restaurant.
Yeah. No, it was great, man. That was, what do you call a nacho, or what do you call it, cheese that is not yours?
Nacho cheese.
I didn't think you were going to guess that. I'm just kidding. That's the easiest joke in the book. Yeah, so that was our experience, our first experience at dining in a restaurant. So I'm really happy to see all the states opening back up and businesses getting more business so that they can keep their doors open. And but unfortunately, a lot of the damage has already been done, and a lot of businesses have shut down.
Had to call it quits.
However, my goal with this channel is I really want to promote people, businesses. I want to just make people famous, make them known, make businesses known. That's the whole goal of this channel. It's not about myself getting famous. I want to bring interesting people in, like Kenneth Bartha, like Andre Johnson, who was on, and my buddy Justin Ocean, and of course Charlie Bartha.
That's not his real name.
That's not his. It's but he likes going by that name. So, and any other guest I've had on the phone, my buddy that we talked to, Randy. I mean, there's going to be plenty of guests. So I just want to get people out there and let them share their message and what they're about and have fun doing it. So that's the goal of this podcast channel. I don't even know if it really is a podcast. I mean, I feel like it's more of a show. I kind of like that better than podcast. But so yeah, man, that's
what does podcast mean anyway?
I don't know. Hey Google, what does podcast mean?
Here's the definition of podcast.
Gotta love it.
A digital audio file made available on the internet for downloading to a computer or mobile device, typically available as a series, new installments of which can be received by subscribers automatically.
Wow. So if I need anything, I got Google here as my assistant, so I can just know the answer. If I don't know it myself, Google's going to know it. So I love it. That's why that thing's there.
Is it Google or is it
Googie?
Googie?
Dude, I'll never forget when I first, someone was telling me about Google, and they're like, dude, have you ever heard of this? It was when I was doing like worship and like when I was a kid, like really young. And they're like, man, you can find these song lyrics on Google. I found them on google.com. And I was like, what the heck's Google? What kind of name is Google? Google.
Judah used to call it Googie. Hey, Googie.
And sorry, by the way, Google, for making fun of you, but your name is it's about as ridiculous as Elon Musk's new child's name. What is that name like?
It's illegal. You can't call him that.
You can't call him?
No, I guess in California you got to use some of the 26 letters of the alphabet.
Oh, okay. So he can't have a name like that in California?
No. That's what they said on the
radio.
radio.
I mean, I understand Elon
Everything you
Musk
hear on the
is.
radio is true, right?
Yeah, true. True that. No, Elon Musk is an amazing, like, he's done a lot of incredible things, but I would say the name of his child is not one of them. But that's just my opinion. Just like probably most of the world thinks it's a crazy name, there's the select few. They're like, dude, that name's so awesome and so unique, man. I love it, man. Not this guy. I do not think it's very
What
interesting.
was his name, by the way? Is it?
I can't even. It was something like
It's all Greek.
AE.
It's Greek letters.
It's AE, which means, was it ash? I can't even think of what it is. But I know it's AE. Well, I don't think it's Greek, or
That's what they said.
it is.
Yep.
Huh. Well, it's a very interesting name. I would say the one that had the most influence is his girlfriend, Grimes, that singer from Canada.
It's XAE.
And A12 came from Elon Musk. He just did that on Joe Rogan podcast. He confirmed or shared with everyone that he came up with the A12. So yeah, so that's a very interesting name. Yeah, my wife, I just heard my wife outside. She just left with our car. We have unfortunately, we have a Chevy Cruze.
Those are great cars.
Yeah, right. You, of all people, know I have the 2013 Chevy Cruze LT, and that thing is total junk, total garbage.
Well, I had a 2011, which was the first year they manufactured that vehicle. And it was in the repair shop more than it was out. And literally in the repair shop more than it was out. It had four water pumps.
Oh, the water pumps,
I
man.
was on the way back with Chelsea from Michigan. Matter of fact, bringing her down here to live.
His
first
daughter,
time.
Chelsea.
And I can't remember the terminology of it, but the car just went and lost power.
Oh, wow. So it just like idled and
Yeah.
just shut
So
down.
we had to stay in Hannibal, Missouri overnight.
Yeah.
Actually, 3 nights.
And they got the probably worst version because it was the 2011. So I think that was the first year for them.
Yes, it was.
They were trash. And I remember when I was at the dealership looking at the cars, and I saw a few Chevy Cruzes, and that one, the one we have currently, caught my eye. It looked really nice. Looks are deceiving, by the way. So I was on the phone at the dealership with my mother-in-law, and she had told me, she said, do not buy the Chevy Cruze. You are going to regret it. And I was like, yeah, but this is a newer year, and I think they worked out the kinks, and it's going to be a much better car. So you had the first year. That's why, boy, was I wrong, because when I got this car, it was probably within several months to a year. I was putting new parts on it. They have the biggest problems with these cars, and I'm sure some of you know this that have the car. Excuse me. They have major coolant system problems. So the coolant system fails in just about every way. I mean, I had to replace the thermostat, which, by the way, I got to replace it again because it's gone out on the car right now as we speak. That'll be number 4 thermostats that I put in that car. And the PCV valve, that's failed. I've had to replace that 3 times, I believe. And then the valve cover gasket, I've had to replace that I think it was 3 times. And then
the whole motor.
I mean, the whole entire motor, I had to put a brand new motor in it. The hoses busted, cracked, the little, I guess, what do you call it? The nipple or what, where the hose clamps onto, those cracked. I had to get a new reservoir for the coolant because that was cracked. I mean, this thing is a total trash dump. I mean, there's probably some of you out there that love your Chevy Cruze and you've never had a problem with it. Well, you're just lucky because me and thousands of other people do not share that same joy as you do with your car because this thing has been a burden for my family. And matter of fact, it's such garbage and such a stressful thing in my life that I have told GM and the place that I bought this car with passion. I told them I will never, ever in my entire life for the rest of my entire life own a GM car or a Chevy Cruze. They don't make them anymore, but I will never own a GM car. I will go and probably buy a foreign car. There's probably thousands of people that disagree with me, but I've only heard good things about foreign cars. They're made better.
Depends on which one you're looking at.
I've only heard amazing things about Toyota. I've actually never heard anybody say anything bad about a Toyota.
I've had some bad experiences with Toyota.
You have?
Yeah.
Well,
Certain
you heard
vehicles.
it first today by Charlie.
Certain vehicles. But back to the Cruze for a minute. I just want to add this point out. When our engine, well, I don't know if our engine went, but I wasn't going to pay the dealership $1,600 to take it down to find out, it's not the engine, it's just the head gasket. And then pay $1,600 to put it back after we owed all this money and had all these problems with it anyway. So I pulled in there, and literally the guy, service tech guy, says, these cars weren't designed to have that many miles on them anyway. They're basically
throwaway cars.
They're basically throwaway cars. When you get close to 100,000 miles, you bring them in, trade them in, and we junk them. Basically, is what he said.
Yeah. Well, with this car, I remember I did this trip all the way up to the UP of Michigan, and it had a little bit of problems. But we get all the way up there, and that's hours away. What, like 15 hours? About 15?
Yeah, it depends
14?
on which direction you go.
Well, the way we went was like 15. So, anyways, we're coming back. We make it back from Michigan, which thank God it happened then. I open up the hood of the car and I look in the coolant reservoir and it's full of sludge, like oily sludge. And I knew that something very bad, and it seemed like the head gasket had cracked or the head gasket blew, which is causing the oil to get in. And so I had a mechanic come in that was referred to me by a friend, and this guy was a little sketchy. He shows up to our house, and he barely looks at the car.
Wait a minute. There is no sketchy people out there in this
Oh,
world.
no. Yeah, you can trust everybody, especially mechanics. No, so this guy comes in, opens the hood really, really quickly, and immediately says, yeah, your head gasket's blown, and I can do it for, $900, something like that. And I'm like, okay, all right, well.
I've got some property in the swamps of Florida to sell you, too. It's a really good deal.
Yeah. Well, this was a joke, man. And so he had told me, like, when the hose, I'm not a mechanic, so you can make fun of me. I don't know all the technical terms. So, but he said, like, the hose that comes out of, or comes through the coolant comes through it, it gets really hot. And if it's stiff, I believe, I can't remember. There's a way that you can tell if your head gasket's blown. And if it's firm, it's running properly because there's coolant coming through it. And if it's squishy, that means that the coolant's not coming through. I believe I could have it backwards. But anyways, I saw that on a YouTube video.
The correct way to do it would be to do a pressure test on it.
Yeah, and he didn't do any of that stuff. And so he had told me that it was blown. Long story short, I had another person come and they checked out the car. They hooked it up to a very expensive computer and they said no, the head gasket's not blown, and all I need to do is just clean the oil out of the system, and what else? There wasn't. Yeah, he said he just needed to flush it and do a few other things. It might need a new turbo. I don't know. And so I drop it off to him, and he does his thing, and then I get a message back. It's worse than a head gasket. Your whole engine's blown. It's toast. And so the turbo was shot, completely shot on the car, which that's common with those cars too, is the turbos. So, man, it was just devastating blow after devastating blow with this car. And I would just get into it with the people at the service station or the service department at the dealership, because some of the parts you have to buy from them. It's like a GM exclusive thing. And so I was just so irritated with them, and they just don't care. They don't care. Give us our money, buy the part, go home, be back in another couple months to buy another part. So I almost have to set aside a monthly budget of fixing this car per month. It's sickening to me. I mean, it's the worst car experience I've ever had. And anyways, that is my take on the Chevy Cruze.
So what did you learn out of that whole experience?
Listen to my mother-in-law. That's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow right there when your mother-in-law was right and you were wrong, and it cost your family thousands of dollars in repairs, and it's still costing us money. I mean, I still got oil in my system that they weren't able to get out apparently, and so they said after they put the engine in, come back a few months later, and then we'll flush it. Well, it had that oil in it. I was just like, man, I don't want to have that coolant and oil mixed together with my new engine, going through the system. But hey, maybe it's fine. I don't know much about cars, but it was frustrating. And now the thermostat, I was driving the car, and it said AC off due to high engine temperature, and so I had to.
Drive the old-fashioned way, roll the windows down.
Yeah, I had to turn off the air conditioning and everything. So I was pretty frustrated. And then I took it to O'Reilly's, and they told me that the thermostat's shot and there's coolant system problems. So I'm taking it on Monday to get it fixed. So more money out the window. Thank you, GM. Thank you. Never buying a car from you again.
On GM's behalf, I'll say, you're welcome.
Yeah, you just hear in the background, F you, man. Like, what the? So yeah, Chevy Cruze, I don't recommend them. Maybe you do. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your experience is with Chevy Cruze. Maybe you also have a nightmare story about your car. Maybe it's not even a Chevy Cruze. Maybe you want to warn us about other cars we want to avoid, because I am going to try to get another car as soon as possible. And you know what? If you guys subscribe and watch these videos and help promote me, because the content's good and you like it, because we're awesome and it could make us famous, even though it's not about us. Maybe I could get a new car. I want a Tesla really bad. That's my dream car. I can't wait to shoot a video of me getting a Tesla one day. That'd be fan-freaking-tastic.
Hey, I've got a horror story about another car.
Uh-oh, here we go.
This horror story. And you don't have to worry because they don't make this car either anymore. Ford, basically the only car they're making anymore is the Mustang.
Mustang Sally.
But this was a Ford Taurus station wagon. Okay. And I ended up with this car. She got the other car that didn't have a payment in the divorce. I got the one that had the payment in the divorce. I don't know. Not going to speculate or what, but I don't know if she didn't pass over the information to me that came to the old address. But needless to say, there was a bulletin put out on this. And the exact day after the bulletin expired, the car took a dump.
Oh, huge dump.
And what happened was they manufactured this engine to run hotter than what they expected it to. So they manufactured They manufactured a bypass kit for this vehicle, and that's what the Bolton was. So instead of me just having to go in and take it in and say, here, can you put the bypass kit on this vehicle? Because they only did it to the car. I guess, no, they didn't put a Bolton out. I take that back. They didn't put a Bolton out. They only did it to the cars that had problems.
Yeah.
But there was a Bolton but they didn't send it out. And so I took it into the dealership the day after the Bolton expired. And voila, they said, sorry about your trouble, about your overheating issues. It's going to cost you $1,000.
$1,000. That's just how it always goes, man. Sorry about your inconveniences, but we're not inconvenienced. Yeah, it's sickening.
So it's
Hate
not
it.
one manufacturer or the other. It's just they have
But
these
mostly
issues.
GM and Chevy Cruises.
They they all have their issues. It's just a matter of if you draw the lucky straw to get the one that has the issue.
Yeah, you don't get the. Yeah, I got the lemon clearly, and the dealership didn't care, and they literally laughed at me. So thank you. So yeah, that's.
What's next?
Well, the next thing I wanted to talk about, this has been all over the news. I said before I don't really want to get into like breaking news topics, but this one's really important and it's very controversial. It seems, I don't know, it just seems like another injustice was done and it's about to be made right, hopefully. But
Wait, we're gonna get our money for our cars?
I wish. That is a huge injustice, but this one is way worse. Involves someone's life.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, a black man by the name of Ahmaud Arbery, was gunned down by two white guys. I don't even want to say their names, but they basically said they had security footage, and he looked. There was a whole string of robberies going on in the community, and according to the security footage, this black man, unarmed black man, was jogging, and he fit this description.
He looked the look, but
He looked the look, and I mean, how many of those cases happen where they look the part or they look like the person? But here's my problem with this. I mean, there's many problems with this whole thing, but I mean, you shouldn't take matters into your own hands. That's what law enforcement is for. I mean, yeah, nobody likes thieves, and I'm not saying this guy was a thief. Nobody likes thieves in general. But going after them and hunting them like animals and shooting them is, for one, taking a human being's life.
Yeah.
For stealing, I mean, that's not right. And just shooting him down in cold blood. I mean, the dude was jogging. You weren't 100% sure he was the person anyway. If you had any kind of thoughts that he might have been the person that did it, call the police. I mean, that's all you do. You call the police.
Yeah.
And but sadly, they went and took matters in their own hands, and it cost him his life. And now, there was such an outcry that these two gentlemen finally, after, I think this happened in February, and they were just now arrested for this.
What?
Yeah, it just happened. They just were arrested. I think, was it yesterday or sometime this week? Yeah, why?
Why did it take so long? I mean, it seems like a open shut case or whatever.
Yeah, I don't get it. But anyways, with all that being said, it's looking like justice is going to be done and for this young man.
Hopefully.
So I just think there's just too much injustice in this world. And I don't get all into the racism thing and whatnot. I don't get into all that stuff. I don't like talking about it. But I will say, in this situation, that was messed up, and what happened to him was not right. And I think the evidence is going to show that he was wrongfully, like this whole situation was handled incorrectly, obviously, and these men will be put away for probably the rest of their lives for that. So I mean, the video surfaced. That's how all this broke out. I mean, it took it, and that's the controversy behind a lot of this is it took a video being released to cause the for these men to be arrested.
Where was this at again?
It was in Georgia. I can't remember what part of Georgia. I think it happened in. I don't even know how to pronounce.
I'd be interesting to hear their side of the story.
Yeah, I mean that's why you have cases, or we get to have a trial, is so you can hear other people's side of the story, because sometimes what seems to be is not what it is. But
I'm finding it hard to believe in this case.
on this case, I think that's a slam dunk for justice for this young man that was killed. It was in Brunswick, Georgia. That's what happened. Yeah, so there was 2 white men that went after him with guns. Man, how tragic.
That's sad.
So we pray for the family, Ahmaud's family, and everyone affected by this. It's just a horrible thing. We don't like hearing that. Nobody likes hearing that, but I think we just need justice to be done on this earth. There's so many people out there that there's so many injustices, and it's just sad, very tragic. But I think these guys are going away, and
I hope
for the
so.
rest of their lives. So rest in peace, Ahmaud.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. Man, there's just needs to be, I don't know, there's just so much bad news out there, man. That's why I like that, what's the actor's name? You guys know. Anyways, he did the Some Good News, SGN. He started a channel on YouTube, and he just shares good news. And I've talked about doing that for years. Like, man, there should be a channel that only does good news, that talks about good news only. And he did. So
Good for him, because it's hard to find.
well, I mean, it just John Krasinski. John Krasinski, that's who it is.
That's a famous actor?
Oh, he's huge, man. He's big time. He was in Office, the show Office. Hilarious.
Which person was he?
He was John. Man, what was I haven't watched that show very much.
What other show was he in?
Oh man, what did he play? I wish you didn't ask me that. Now I look like a fool. Jim, that's it, of course, Jim.
He played Jim?
Yeah, Jim.
Joe played Jim?
John played Jim.
Oh, John played Jim.
Yep.
Jason played Joe?
Jim and he had a obsession with Pam from the show. It's interesting. I thought it was funny, Office, but yeah. So
yeah, you really had to watch it to get into it. It's like kind of like Seinfeld back in the day. You had to really watch Seinfeld.
I enjoyed watching the clips, the funny parts. I would just find the funniest highlights from Dwight. Dwight Schrute was hilarious. He was the one I remember the most. So, but yeah. So yeah, that Ahmaud Arbery, and and the one thing I forgot to share about him is that runners around the whole entire world dedicated 2.23 miles to honor the victim. I would say that number probably has significance, I would assume. But that's a pretty cool way to honor someone.
Sorry.
All over the world.
I may be able to walk 2.3 miles, but...
Charlie could do 2.23 miles of walking or driving. That's what he can do, 2.23 miles of jogging or driving. That would be perfect. So my wife and I and our little son, Judah, he's 4 years old, and he's getting ready to turn 5.
Yeah, that's what comes after 4.
Yep, he's getting ready to turn 5. June 23rd is his birthday, and we're super excited. Now it's been really rough because he doesn't have another sibling, and we're really not ready to have another kid. We don't want to have another kid right now, especially right now. And he just is getting lonely, and he can't play with any friends because everyone's in quarantine. And so,
Where's this leading up to?
well, yeah, we're not having a kid, by the way. No, so we want to get.
He's keep been talking lately about a sister.
Well, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Well, maybe soon, but not soon. So what brings us to the next best thing is getting a family pet, and we were looking at getting a dog. I really like dogs. I grew up with pets. I had like all kinds of pets when I grew up. I had like
Lion?
I didn't have a lion or a tiger or a bear or
Oh my.
yeah, I didn't have any of that. I had cats, lots of dogs. I had a ferret. I had
Ooh, a ferret. Those
I had
are
a
nasty
ferret.
animals.
They smell bad. I had guinea pigs, which I accidentally killed them, not on purpose. I just, when I was a little kid, I mean, I didn't kill them. I just found them dead, and that was because I didn't realize they had really small hearts, and so I would go like this, I wouldn't grab them, but I would go up to the cage like this, and I think
You literally
they had a heart
scared
attack.
You literally scared it to death.
I think so.
Wow.
At least that's my memory. I could be wrong.
Wow. Jason scared
A guinea pig to
You
death.
heard it first here.
And I was torn apart, man.
This
like
is not going to make you famous.
No.
Scaring.
I'm gonna be getting a phone call from PETA or whatever you call them. No, I did not do that on purpose. It was just they had a heart attack, and I could be wrong. That was so long ago, so I could remember it differently. Maybe I found them and they were already like that.
And Elizabeth had this. It's not a rat, but it's kind of like in between a guinea pig and
Yeah,
and a mouse rat. I don't know what it was called, but she called it Eddie.
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 Okay.
I think it was Eddie. She called it. Well, around Halloween time, they got those black rats.
Yeah.
Well, it played a joke on her when she come back from her mom's house. I took hers out of the cage and put that dead thing from Halloween in there.
Oh,
And she thought her thing was dead.
that's sad. So yeah, I really so the animal we want to get is a dog, and the one I really wanted a German Shepherd for a long time, but they shed, and there's a lot of health problems they have. But that was like my dream dog. I wanted a dog that can defend my family. However, I had just recently ran into a friend, and they had a little cute puppy, and I never heard of them before, but it's called a golden doodle.
A what?
Golden doodles. They are very, very popular, especially right now. There's labradoodles, which came about in the 80s. Some guy created it, and now we got golden doodles. I don't know how long they've been around, but they're
Was
very.
his name Bill Gates?
I don't think so. No.
Oh.
It's some guy from Australia that made the labradoodle, and so I really like it. Beautiful dog, very beautiful. Love them, and so we're looking to get us a dog. So, and I was hoping to be able to deliver it to my son for his birthday.
You can, come over and borrow Holly and Enoch anytime you want.
Yeah, Charlie's got a little poodle, a little tiny poodle, a miniature poodle. Miniature poodle named Holly. She, when she arrived on the scene, she was very skittish.
Still is
scared,
a little bit.
but she's warmed up a lot. So,
Yeah.
And then he's got.
You have a 2-year or 3-year-old running around the house. It's kind of
hard
not to be skittish.
She's basically an old lady.
Yeah, she got rescued out of puppy mill. She was in puppy mill for 7 years. My mom actually got her, and then my mom got sick and passed away, and I took her on.
Wow. Yeah, so we really like to get a golden doodle. Heard a lot of great things about them. I like the look of them. I like that they're a family dog because golden retrievers are they're the number one family dog there is. So they're pretty amazing. But yeah, hopefully we can find one. If anybody that's listening to this knows of any good breeders that have golden doodles or Australian labradoodles, standard golden doodle is what we're looking for. Let me know in the comments section below. Maybe you do. Let us know. We'll maybe buy one of your dogs from you. Now we got to move on because my goal was to bring the podcast time down to 30 minutes. Well, I'm finding that it's very difficult to do because then you have to rush through everything. A lot of podcasts go on for about 2 hours, 3 hours. I think an hour is the sweet spot. So even though most people don't listen to the end, so I have to create smaller videos out of it. But anyways, it brings us to
What's in Charlie's bag?
oh yeah.
So let me get down here and we'll see what's in Charlie's bag today. This is a Mexican tradition, I hear. It's really,
I'm really scared.
really famous in Texas right now. They're eating this all the time, I hear.
Oh, I'm really scared now.
Yeah. So, a little bit of Vienna sausage
Okay, I like Vienna sausages.
with some okra pickles.
Okra pickle. I've okra pickles
Okra pickles.
and they're really hot.
It says they're hot. I have not had this.
Huh. I'm still not very familiar with the whole copyright thing. So I'm trying to figure out if I can show the labels or if we need to start doing removing the labels, which I don't understand that. I mean, why wouldn't you want free advertisement for your company? I mean, clearly we're not trying to use this to our benefit, like the specific brand. So,
Oh, yeah. Smells like
Vienna?
dog food.
oh, I love dog food. So, I guess I was right. I said I wouldn't do one as spicy, and last episode, well, this one shouldn't be bad. This shouldn't be spicy at all. Does it smell like pickles?
Smells hot. Doesn't-
It smells like spicy jalapenos.
Yep.
So yeah, let's do it real quick.
I think we'll do that and then chase it.
Dude, look at the fuzz on there. That's got fuzz.
Yeah, okra does have fuzz.
Oh man. Yeah.
Just go for it, Jason.
All right, let's eat it.
Right, it's actually pretty
It
good.
tastes like a pickle, and it's not spicy. So that's not a challenge.
Get your Vienna
It's
sausage.
gross. The next one we do, we'll have.
Hey, it says hot. I've never had it before.
Next one we'll do, we'll have.
That looks totally disgusting.
I mean, it's extremely processed. Charlie, this has got to be the wimpiest challenge. Like people are probably laughing at us. Like that's
Hey.
like eating a chocolate candy bar challenge.
Hey, the way you whined and complained about the peppers.
Yeah, that
with
was pretty
Andre,
bad. He's trying to keep it easy on me, so here we go. Vienna sausage. I used to eat these a lot when I was a kid, so
ugh.
not very healthy for you. It's basically spam. So that's it, folks. You can laugh. Oh, we forgot. That's what we were going to play while we're eating it. Well, we'll end the show with this. we want to thank you for tuning in to This Can Make Us Famous podcast. We've had a great time. We had a challenge that really wasn't a challenge, and
Hey,
it was just a little snack.
You ate a fuzzy okra. When was the last time you ate okra?
Never in my life, actually, I don't think. Because it just looks disgusting. But it's been awesome. We had a good time. Trying to keep the segments shorter. Because I was told by many people that they don't want to watch us take 10 minutes eating an olive. So we made this very short and sweet. Next challenge we do is going to be of epic proportions. Somebody's going to cry, I'm sure. But it was good, Charlie. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, and I thought those would be a lot hotter than they were.
They actually weren't hot at all. Like, Cholula's hotter than that.
No, I was gonna go downstairs and get some hot sauce and try it again.
Let's do another challenge, round 2. Thank you for tuning in. This Can Make Us Famous podcast. We'll see you next time.
See you later, everybody.